Welcome, guys. I am Bruce with Prephoops, your boys basketball content writer, exposure scout, and rankings expert. As you can see, I am about 120 cups of coffee in. It's been 3 crazy days, but I am excited to bring you our first ever Prephoops Rankings Release podcast. This is going to be an amazing show. Tonight, we are going to unveil the top 25 players in our boys' class of 2022 rankings. The official rankings will be released a week from tomorrow. That is Monday, March 7th, I believe. Forgive me if I don't know the days because they all start running together after a while. This is going to be our most extensive rankings to date. We'll have over 125 players ranked in the class of 2022. So if you balled out at all this year, go to Prephoops and take a look at the rankings. Now, I'm going to let you know there's going to be some shakeup in the top 10. So we will unveil our top 10 at the end of the show. Stand by for that. We are going to break down the top 25 players in the entire class of 2022. But first, we are going to go to a short break, come back, and we are going to wrap up this weekend's state tournament. Welcome back. This was an amazing weekend. The state tournament here at the Cox Pavilion. We were able to crown a 4A, a 3A, and a 1A champion this weekend here in Las Vegas, as well as a 5A and a 2A champion out in Reno. First, I want to give big congratulations to the boys 1A state champion, Green Valley Christian. Great performance by Joshua Valencia. David Thurman, Green Valley Christian, was able to take home the boys 1A state title. On the boys 3A state title game, big ups to Coach Mike Kleekus, the Elko Indians. I feel like they brought every single person that ever lived in the city of Elko out to the game. Showed up, showed out, packed the Cox Pavilion. Congratulations to your boys, 3A state champions, the Elko Indians. In the 4A, it was a unique tournament as a city went out to crown a state champion. Give it up to Coach Kewan Clark and the Mojave Rattlers. Mojave did it. I wrote an article earlier on the year. Coach Clark asked a simple question, why not Mojave? The question was answered this week as they had a great weekend, winning first over Cimarron and then taking down one of the hottest teams we had in 4A, Spring Valley. Congratulations to the Mojave Rattlers. I named freshman sensation CJ Shaw as my MVP of that event. Now, up in Reno, I want to give it up for the 2A boys state champions, the Meadow Mustangs. The Meadow Mustangs, I'm really happy for those guys. They went through a lot of stuff this season, including losing their coach at the beginning of the year. Congratulations to my boy Jake Bevwaka and the Meadows Mustang. And then finally, in case you've been sleeping on the rock, one of the biggest upsets that we've ever had in the history of the state tournament, the Liberty Patriots took home the boys' 5A state title in an absolute classic, winning 63-62 over the 10-time defending state champion Bishop Gorman Gales. Congratulations to Coach Kevin Soares, to Joshua Jefferson, DJ Thomas, Angelo Kambala, Caden Casolero, Aaron Price, and all the Liberty Patriots for making history this week, knocking off the 9-time defending state champions. Now, when we come back, I'm going to introduce my guest for the show, and we are going to get into the 2022 Prephoops rankings. Welcome back. First and foremost, for our ranking show, I like to let people know that I don't do it alone. Yeah, I'm out there in the gym, but I go and I pick the brains of some of the best basketball minds that I can find. And today on my show, I have one of the best basketball minds that we have in the city, my boy Lou Kelly, one of the great Rebels of all time. He was named by the Las Vegas Review-Journal as one of the 60 greatest Rebels of all time. He is one of the all-time leading single-season leading scorers in California State high school basketball history. He is an accomplished high school, AAU, and prep school coach. He is none other than Lou Killer Kelly. Lou, what up?
How you doing? Great weekend of hoops. Very proud of all these guys, especially Liberty, to pull off that unbelievable victory, beating Bishop Gorman, as well as Green Valley Christian, a player on that team by Big Josh. And my hat goes off to Mojave for pulling out that sweet victory, beating Spring Valley.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great weekend, man. I really love, not just, obviously, it's fun to see the big schools play, but I really love when the small schools come out here and compete. It was great seeing the 1A schools get some love this weekend. A lot of times I don't get a chance to see those players. A lot of players played their last game of the week, which reminds me, the late signing period is starting April 13th. We will be having the Las Vegas Unsigned Senior Camp March 20th. At the Tarkanian Basketball Academy. The event will get underway at 8 a.m. and it'll go till 5 p.m. We'll have skills and drills from some of the best coaches like yourself in the building, as well as brand new state champion head coach Kewan Clark. We'll have games being played, and then we will have the top 20 All-Star game. So that's going to take place on Sunday, March 20th. At the Tarkanian Basketball Academy. Lou, are you excited for that one?
Looking forward to it. For these seniors that are their last hurrah, showcase their talents. Maybe some schools will be interested in finding a sleeper or a diamond in the rough. So just looking forward to the kids to get out there and express their talents. And like I said, I'm excited for it.
Well, perfect. So let's move into what everybody wants to talk about, the rankings. Now, first, before we get started on the rankings, I'm going to give you guys a little insight and give you some criteria to my rankings because I get tired of people asking me, how do you rank players? What is it that goes into it? First, the easy answer is very simple. Can you help my team win a basketball game? Because that's what I look for first. But I do have some specific criteria that goes into it when I start breaking down and ranking players. Number one, first and foremost, if I cannot see a player, I do not rank them. At some point in time, I actually have to see your player play in person. I appreciate all the film. I appreciate all the feedback, but if I cannot see a guy in person, I'm not going to rank him. And if you have a player that you believe should be ranked and he's not ranked, you need to ask yourself, well, where would I have seen this player play?
I mean, there's a lot of tournaments. Obviously, high school basketball, you trying to cover the entire state. AAU, there's an assortment of things. Obviously, the senior camp that you're providing with Prephoops. These are one of the aspects that these kids must, fulfill and play. And hopefully these kids will understand that you're trying to do your due diligence and a fair assessment of where these guys really are ranked.
Correct. I mean, I am definitely just obviously it's difficult when you never see them and people want your opinion on something that you can't see. But I digress. Now, for my actual criteria, I have 5 specific criteria that I use when I'm trying to evaluate a player. Now, these aren't in any particular order, but some do hold a little more weight. So we'll start with high school production. To me, what you do in high school is really, really important, partly because that most closely simulates college basketball, right? High school, you're going to play a game on a Tuesday night. Right, you're going to be off the next day, and then that coaching staff that you're going to play is going to go and break down your strengths and weaknesses. So I love evaluating a player on what they do during their high school season. Next, your grassroots production. Now, that's not a knock on AAU because I value high school more. For AAU, I'm just looking for something different, and what I'm looking for AAU is just guys that can go, right? AAU is basically ballers. We wake up at 9 in the morning. I ain't never heard of this guy. This guy ain't never heard of me. Roll the ball out here. Let me see if I can go get buckets, right? That's what AAU basketball is.
Correct. AAU is easier. I'm not going to lie. A lot of guys play AAU, and they scored 15 to 20 points a game, and those same guys are probably average 5 to 12 points a game in high school games. High school games are simulated, a little different because they're half-court set offenses. The games are a lot slower. Pressure. Jersey weighs a lot heavier than an AAU jersey with the way the kids flip-flop and wear so many different jerseys. So it is a different game, but at the same time, if you're athletic, you can shoot, you can run and jump, play defense, you should be able to display your talents in AAU a lot better than high school.
Agreed with all of that. The next way I evaluate guys, and this kind of rolls into what I was saying before, is live play. I got to see you play live at some point in time. And unbeknownst to people, part of the reason why I like to see guys play live is because I'm trying to validate what I saw maybe on film or what I saw in the stat box, right? How big is he? You know what I mean? What does he look like? What's his body look like? And then something else I like to evaluate is body language. Like, people don't know this. I like to spend a lot of time in the huddle because I want to see if a guy who misses a shot, if it weighs on him, right? So he might be scared of the next shot. I want to see if a guy's coming out of the game, is he dapping up his teammates or is he avoiding the dap because he's mad that he's coming out of the game? Because in reality, it's a small margin of error for a lot of these kids. So little things like that are things that I look for to see that a kid isn't canceling himself out. You know what I mean?
I agree. Body language is important. Obviously, being a coach myself, I look at that. I determine if a guy's going to go back in the game. Should I sit him longer? All those things are aspects of coaching that we all appreciate. And we're trying to make sure we teach these kids differently, because if you're trying to prepare for college, which is normally the goal for a lot of these players, this is a very important aspect.
The next part of what I like to look at, and I'm going to tell you, I'm a film rat. I love watching film of basketball because they got a saying, the film don't lie, right? You can tell me how good somebody is, but when I get a chance to go back and actually look at film, I get to see those little nuances that you might not pick up live. And some of the things that I'm looking for in film are things like fundamentals, right? When a guy goes and sets a screen, does he understand how to set the screen properly? And then what is he doing after? Is he rolling back or is he popping back? Is he using his fundamentals correctly? Is that guard coming off shoulder to shoulder when he's getting a high ball screen? Are you in help defense when you're on defense? These are the little things that I'm actually looking at in screen. If you're a shooter, how are you getting that shot off? Are you stationary, catch and shoot, depending on someone else? Or are you able to move off the ball, use those screens, get open, catch and release? I'm looking for all of those type of things on film. And then again, I'm looking for validation. If a guy's a scorer, how is he scoring those points, right? If you score 20 points a game, it doesn't mean anything to me if it's all leak out breaks and it's 1-on-0 and it's you at the rim. I want to see how a guy's getting those points. So that's what I pay attention to on film. And then finally, let's keep it real. This is, at the end of the day, this is basketball, okay? My saying is this: basketball is the one sport where luck plays a factor. So I look for potential, okay? If two guys are even, but one guy is 6'8" and the other guy is 5'8", I hate to break it to you, the 5'8" guy is going to get the benefit of the doubt because I'm looking at his potential. Now, it's not just going to be about his height or anything like that. It may be something, and I'm going to say this, and I know in this era, this may be a very, very polarizing, but if a guy is a double holdback, right, versus a kid that is a regular age, and they are the same player, well, obviously, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt for the kid that's a few years younger. That's what potential means to me. You know what I mean? What can you do 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Because I don't want to be wrong. So I'm looking at not only their ceiling, but I'll tell you something that a great coach actually told me. I was talking to a college coach, and he said, everybody talk about high ceiling. I need high ceiling guys. He said, just give me a low floor guy, right? Just give me a low floor guy. Give me a guy who, if I come in and he comes into my program, I know at the very worst he's going to start for me for 3 years. His floor is very low. So I also look at that as well. So just to run through it, high school production, grassroots production, live play, film, and your overall potential. Lou?
I agree with all of them. I like the aspect of what you covered. I think you covered all the bases. And once again, like I said, film doesn't lie. As a coach myself, once again, we always break down film and see what you can and can't do. Are you coachable? Are you fun to play with? There's a lot of daddy ball in this state, and I think it does have a tendency to wear down a lot of these players because their dads sit in the corner of the gym and they yell or they try to make a relationship with the coach. Once again, for everybody listening, when you get to college, your father will rarely have any influence on the program. These coaches are recruiting the kid to put on a jersey and play, as simple as that.
Well, you got the last word with that one. Shout out to LeVar Ball, by the way. When we come back, what you all have been waiting for, we are going to break down and release our class of 2022 top 25. This is going to be exciting. I know a lot of people have been anticipating this, these new rankings. You will hear them first when we come back. Welcome back. All right, I can tease you a little more, but without further ado, we are going to talk about number 25 to number 11 in our new Prephoops class of 2022 rankings. So to start out at number 25, it will be David Estes. 6'7" power forward out of basic. Had a great breakthrough season, averaged over 14 points a game for the Wolves. David will be representing Las Vegas at CSN. Number 24, TT Torek Valosek, 6'4" combo guard from Incline, one of the best downhill two-way players. Valosek is a huge physical presence that's able to score off the dribble as well as create for others. Number 20 thing, Parsa Hedjigimisi. Parsa, I know I butcher your name all the time, but you're too good of a player to not to have on here. Parsa is a 6'4" combo guard from Carson, one of the best snipers that we have in the state. Number 22, Sarge Jeffrey. Sarge is a 6'6" power forward from Desert Valley Prep. He is a big-time run and jump guy. Glass cleaner, finishes around the rim. That's Sergeant Jeffries coming in at number 23. Number 21, David Tenor, one of the top stock risers that we've had in the city. David Tenor is a 6'3" hard-nosed athlete from Cheyenne. He is one of the best offensive rebounders and run and jump guys that we have. Coming in at number 20, Silas Gray. Silas is a 6'3" shooting guard from Bonanza, one of the best 1v1 players that we have in the city. Played for a really, really good Bonanza team that was ranked number 1 in most of the season. Number 19, Donovan Webster, one of the top 3-and-D guys that we have. Shoots it with range. Webster is able to get to the hole, and he can defend his position. Coming in at number 18, John Derrick. John Derrick is a 6'7" power forward from Foothill High School. Terrific run and jump guy. Finishes in transition and can protect the rim for you. Coming in at number 17, Dante Turner. Dante Turner is a 6'2" small forward from Cimarron, a versatile defender that can guard 1 through 3 for you. He helped lead Cimarron to the state semifinals. Coming in at number 16, it's Bryant Legarite. Bryant Legarite is one of the most unique prospects we have, a 6'8" small forward from Canyon Springs. Loves to put the ball on the ground and create for others. He's a terrific passer, and he was second on Canyon Springs in assists this year. Coming in at number 15, we have Jalen Foy. Jalen is a running mate right along with Legarite for Canyon Springs. He's a 6'5" small forward. He shoots the ball from outside, loves to stretch the floor and pick and pop positions, and he can also put it down and make plays for himself and for others. Coming in at number 14, Jameer Stevens. Jameer is a 6'1" combo guard from Desert Pines. He's one of the best two-way players that we have in this state. Jameer will lock up on ball as well as create, score in transition, and for himself on the other end. Coming in at number 13, we have Isaac Peralta. Isaac Peralta is a 6'2" combo guard from Coronado. He is a good off-the-ball catch and shooter as well as a terrific downhill slasher and finisher. Coming in at number 12, J.J. Loudon. J.J. Loudon is a 6'4" shooting guard from Desert Valley Prep. Terrific upper body frame, good downhill driver, good run and jump athlete. And coming in at number 11, Big Michael Cleekis, a 6'3" small forward from Elko. Congratulations again to Elko and Michael Cleekis for taking home the state title. Michael Cleekis is a versatile 6'3" wing. Think Adam Morrison 5 inches stronger. Can shoot the ball from outside, can score with his back to the basket, and can create for others. That is number 25 to number 11, your boys, class of 2022. When we come back, we will have a special guest as well as a breakdown of the top 10 players in the Prephoops boys class of 2022. Welcome back. It's been a great show so far. We are now going to break down our top 10. But first, like I always say, I never do it by myself. I want to introduce my expert guest. He is a former All-American at Cal, former professional basketball player, former assistant coach with the Milwaukee Bucks, one of the best skill developers we have here in town, owner of the Sweatbox. Did I leave anything out? It is Monty Buckley, one of the great influencers that we have in terms of basketball here. Buck, what's up?
How you doing, Bruce? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing great, man. Of course, I would have you. Who better to break down my top 10 than you? You see more basketball than almost everybody combined, so it's great to have you. I got Lou over here. If it's all right
with you. How you doing, Lou?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Good.
Yep.
If it's all right with you, I'm going to get right into my top 10. I'll give you my little opinion. Lou will say his piece, and, of course, you get the final word. How does that work?
That works for me.
So we start with number 10. My number 10 player is Dontrell Johnson. Dontrell Johnson is a 6'5" shooting guard, formerly of Bonanza High. Then he went on to play for Trinity this summer. Johnson is a slasher. He's a 1v1 guy, likes to get downhill. He has greatly improved his outside shooting for the last 12 months. He also is a player that has experience with your Las Vegas Shooters Ball Club, if I remember.
Correct.
Lou, tell me what you think about Dontrell's game.
Dontrell is 6'5" combo guard. Can shoot it, can dribble it, can really defend, aggressive player. Stock is on the rise. I think Dontrell has a bright future in this game. Hopefully we can get Dontrell to a college that where we can see his expertise and his growth as a player come to fruition. But I think Dontrell has a shot, man, with his athleticism and his eagerness to want to be a better player, is always working in the gym where Coach said. And like I said, he played for me, and I seen the dog get him, and I can vouch for Dontrell. He's definitely one of the up-and-coming players in the state.
Buck?
I agree with Lou. I think Dontrell has worked tremendously on his outside game and his shooting. Also, a lot more with his decision making. I think earlier when I saw him, he would run over guys and, be a little bit out of control. But I think this year, from what I saw from last year to this year, he's took a big leap and really concentrating on his game. And I think there's a lot of upside still for him to grow.
That's excellent, man. So coming in at number 9, we have James Freeman. James Freeman is a 6'5" power forward for Bishop Gorman High School. He's one of the bouncier guys that we have in the class. Love James because, like a lot of players that I like, he doesn't need a play run for him to impact the game. He's a guy that's going to help you on the defensive end as well as rebounding the ball, getting putbacks, and he's good for a highlight to a game. So that's James Freeman, 6'5" power forward for Bishop Gorman. Lou?
High jumper. We talk about athletic kids, and this is definitely one of the best ones in the state. I like his tenacity on the floor, being coached by one of the best coaches in the state in Grant Rice. I love everything about this kid, hard worker. Like you said, you don't have to really necessarily run a play for him. He just puts on his jersey, puts on his hard hat. He's more like a throwback player, super bouncy. I love the kid's tenacity, and I look forward to this kid's future.
Buck?
I think in whenever you have good teams like you do in Gorman, someone has to sacrifice their game. And I think that he showed flashes, obviously, during the year. But I think that also, again, there's a lot more to him. But when you play on a team like that, everyone has to give up a little bit. And I think he did a little bit of everything, and obviously one of the most athletic kids around.
That's a great point, man. The ability to sacrifice for the good of your team. A lot of times guys are kind of unwilling to do that, but every team that's a championship quality team is going to always need that guy that's willing to sacrifice for their role. So that's a great point, Buck. Coming in at number 8, we have Shane Thomas from Durango. Shane Thomas is a 6'3" shooting guard. So I talked to several college coaches about Shane, and the thing that I always try to impress on him is that he checks a lot of boxes. Not only is he a terrific basketball player, but you're looking at a high academic kid. He's a big-time 3-and-D guy that loves to knock down the corner 3. He's also a good run-and-jump athlete that can get out and play above the rim. He's long, he's rangy, and he can defend multiple positions. So I'm really a big fan of a guy like Shane Thomas because I think, much like you said about James Freeman, Buck, he's the type of guy that at the next level can really make an impact on a winning team. Lou?
Winner, good student, good kid, coached against him numerous times. I love everything about this kid. Everybody speaks very highly of him, and I think the best is yet to come for him. I think when he puts on another jersey, obviously at another level, I think his gamesmanship, the way he carries himself, like I said, the coaching staff did a fantastic job with him his years at Durango, and I look forward to this kid playing at a different level.
Buck?
I think this kid probably could be the sleeper in his class. I watched him last year. I think he changed schools from one school to Durango. I'm not sure. Can shoot it. I think he has a high IQ of the game. And he worked on his strength from last year, obviously, to this year. And like I said, I think depending on where he ends up or how his recruitment finishes, but I think someone's going to get a good kid. And I think this is a sleeper of the class for me.
Good point. He did transfer. He was originally at Centennial High, and then he transferred over to Durango. So, yes, he's really improved his game. And that's a great point again. One of the top sleepers that we have in this class is Shane Thomas. Moving on to number 7, Aaron Price, 6'8", bouncy power forward from Liberty. I mean, much like Shane Thomas, what's not to love about Aaron Price? Just a multi-talented guy on the floor. I think he's accomplished saxophone player, 4.5 GPA, high academic guy, currently with an offer from Cal Poly, plays for the now newly crowned state champion Liberty Patriots. And he's a guy that can impact the game, in my opinion, with his energy, effort, rebounding the ball, sprinting the floor, and then finishing above the rim. Lou?
Another one of those kids who played for me, very personal, because I know this kid, and I don't know what the university is waiting for. Like, this is the kid you make an offer to, and he'll uplift your whole university. Like you said, super student, great kid, never is in trouble, polite, comes from a great home life. You see him on the court picking up and lifting his teammates. I mean, I don't know what more you need to make a college offer. Like, this is the guy, and even our hometown Rebels need to take a look at him. He might not be the prototypical superstar, but if he's in your program is definitely better. And my hat goes off to him because he worked like a dog for 4 years, and I think he definitely should be rewarded with the college scholarship for sure.
Buck?
I think this kid, again, due to last year in the pandemic, you saw him work hard. I think he's very undervalued at being that size and all that he can do. And again, great student again. So I think that, like Lou said, if someone takes a chance, him and Thomas kid, I think they're going to get two good players that were very undervalued.
Excellent point. I mean, yeah, it's always great to have a kid that, you don't have to worry about. Good kid, hardworking kid. And I love that he's an unselfish kid. So that's Aaron Price, who comes in at number 7. Next, coming in at number 6, we have Kenyan Giles. So Kenyan Giles is a new player. He transferred in from Oscar Smith in Virginia. Giles is a 5'10" point guard. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, what I love about this kid is his ability to go get his own shot. He is a scoring point guard by every definition. He's got major shake and wiggle in his game. He's able to go out there, and he doesn't just hit threes. He can shoot it from 3, but he's a guy that can kill you from the mid-range as well. I love his toughness, too. He's a guy that I saw play through a lot of contact, which is something that I look for players. Got a lot of and-ones this season. He was counted on to carry the majority of the scoring load for Silverado, and I thought he did a tremendous job this year. Lou?
Great season. Hat goes off to him. Another kid, got to see him play about 5 to 10 times with some of my kids attending Silverado High School. Tough. Figures it out, mid-range, like you said, physical, picks up full court man, competes, likes basketball, really enjoyed basketball. His family was at every game in the front row going crazy, and he fed off that energy. Once again, another kid that had a great season. Like I said, I'm extremely proud of him, and he's going to Radford University, if I'm not correct.
That is correct. Kenyan Giles has signed with Radford University, so congratulations to him. Buck?
Yeah, congratulations to this kid, Coach Andy Johnson over at Silverado, just coming in this year. And this kid, when I saw him, you can tell that he played with a chip on his shoulder, and he was a real dog out there with his mentality. And you could tell he loved to play the game on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and is a competitor. And Radford's getting a good player, and I think Andy did a great job with this kid.
Perfect. So moving on, now we get to our top 5, and to let you know, the top 5 in Prephoops is always great because those are the 1 through 5s that get their picture on the website throughout the whole year. So coming in at number 5, we have Ryan Abelman. Abelman is a 6'4" shooting guard at Bishop Gorman, and it's been great to see a kid like this when you saw a kid that didn't really play much. He was on JV his freshman year at Gorman, played very little on the state championship team as a sophomore, but he just kept working and working, and he has a signature skill. He's a shooter. He's a guy that can knock down shots. But really what impressed me about Abelman, and he does this more for Vegas Elite, but he did a little bit more of this for Bishop Gorman, is he has some ball skills. He's able to put the ball down for 1 or 2 dribbles, create for himself. High academic guy. His skill is knockdown shooting. That's what he's known for, shooting the basketball. He has signed to play at Northern Arizona, and I think they're going to be getting a really, really good player, a really, really good kid that can help change the scoreboard with his 3-point shooting ability. Lou?
Comes from a great background, once again, Bishop Gorman. This kid can really shoot it, moves without the ball, cuts. I've seen him screen a lot, which is very impressive for a high school kid. extra pass, didn't hunt shots like most kids do that can knock down shots. This kid waited his turn. He understood about spacing, high IQ, and Northern Arizona's getting a great player.
Buck?
Again, comes from a storied program, organization. I call it, at Gorman, Coach Rice, he gets the McDonald's All-Americans, but he also finds a way to get the guys that's been in his program for a long time to excel and get the most out of them. And I watched this kid early in the year, and he's playing some of his good basketball. I think he was he won some games with Gorman, and he carried him earlier in the year, and he was shooting the lights out. And I think that just goes from being, his hard work and his dedication. And, like you said, he kind of waited his turn, didn't complain, stayed in the gym, and here's a result. He has a D1 scholarship.
Yeah, that's true. All those things that you said are very, very accurate about our number 5 player, Ryan Abelman from Bishop Gorman. Now, our number 2 player, Taviante Jackson, 6'2", point guard, Las Vegas High School. Where should I start? Correct, number 4. Our number 4 ranked player. Our number 4 ranked player. I got to be honest with you. We've even got dissent in the room. People think that he should be higher, and I really can't argue with them. Woo. This kid is tremendous. He's absolutely tremendous. At 6'2", where do I start? He's got the wiggle, big time athlete. He not only can he impact games with his scoring and his shooting, but his rebounding. Do you understand that position, this guy led the state in rebounding? I had him out at one of my camps earlier last year, and at 6'2", he measured out at a 6'5" rebound. Now, college coaches, what were you waiting for? He's one of the hottest prospects on the West Coast, just impacts game. I like his shiftiness. I like his explosiveness, his ability to use his quick twitch muscles to turn defense into offense and then finish up above the rim. This is a guy that you can see dunking on people, catching alley-oops. But then most important, the best thing that I can call him, he reminds me of one of them old school, old West gunslinging cowboys that just every matchup he gets the better of just because of his talent and his competitive nature. So can't say enough about just the career that this kid is having. I think that you are going to be getting a kid whose best basketball is actually ahead of him at the next level. Lou?
I'm hoping this one here is a future pro, because this one here carried one of the worst high school teams ever assembled, and he could have transferred. He could have did to join the Super Friends like most of the kids do. This kid stayed at his school and carried an entire school on his back. Amazing job. At 6'2", if he's that, he rebounds like an animal. He scores, his leadership. He picks up kids off the ground. I even seen him pick up water bottles. He's a superstar picking up water bottles after games. So his scoring, his dunks, his athleticism, his shot blocking, this kid checks all the boxes for me. This was the best player I've seen on tape and live in person all year.
Buck?
And you guys, I mean, Bruce, you go around the country, you know this, but I've seen this kid from when he was 14, 15, and he's probably one of the most underrated kids in the country. He's gotten his jump shots got better. He's got stronger. He's a lot more mature than when he was younger. And like Lou said, he can win you ball games with whatever you put on the floor. And that's hard to find. And of course, obviously he plays with a chip on his shoulder. I don't know what his school will. I know you said, I think I saw Wyoming and some other schools but this kid right here, like I said, to me, and I've had an opportunity, haven't been around the country that much, but I think he's one of the most underrated kids in the country.
And to piggyback a little bit about his recruitment, yes, he does have Wyoming, but right now he's getting interest from a lot of schools. Pacific has also offered him. Just myself, I've talked to Colorado State. I've talked to Portland State. Nebraska Omaha. So he's really one of the hottest prospects right now here on the West Coast. Dixie State has also gotten into the mix. His recruitment has really, really heated up. It took a little longer than it probably should have, in my opinion, but right now he's one of the hottest prospects. And yes, I agree. This is a kid that perhaps has a chance to be a future pro.
Bruce, I have to add this. I've announced this kid. Okay, I'm the engineer behind the desk. I've announced this kid for the last 4 years, and it's crazy to find out he's only played basketball for 5 years. He was a football player up until high school. So I had to throw that in there. He's one of my favorite players of all time. Thank you, Bruce.
No worries. This is the kind of passion that great players spark, and Taviante Jackson has been a great player, not just for Las Vegas High, but really for the whole Las Vegas community. He's inspired a lot of other kids to work hard and improve their game. Now let's move on to our number 3 player, Darion Williams. Darion Williams is a 6'6" small forward from Bishop Gorman. And when I first saw this kid play almost 2 years ago and I found out he was transferring to Gorman, I instantly thought he's a perfect fit. He's an unselfish Swiss Army knife type of player. He can go get you a bucket one-on-one. He can go score in the post. He can pass and create for other guys. He's got good R&J athleticism. He's just a player. Super happy to hear that he has committed to the University of Nevada. I think he's a kid that can be a 4-year guy that can make an impact in the Mountain West, has a lot of skills, and he's just the type of guy that winning teams usually have on their squad. Lou?
Like we spoke about Aaron Price earlier, this is another guy who deserves all the accolades, plays hard, fun on the court, smiles, works hard, looks like he's in tip-top shape. When you see him come off the floor, he's congratulating everybody on the bench. So that signifies that he's really about his team. And like I said, to have an ultimate glue guy like this, like you said, the Swiss Army knife, as a coach's dream to have a guy like that. So hats off to him in Nevada. They picked a good one.
Buck?
Again, this kid, like you say, transferred in. I remember, again, didn't see him too much because there was no year, but you always could see he was in the gym and working, and just glad he got an opportunity to showcase his talents. And it's, like you said, he does a lot of things very well. A triple-double kind of threat guy when he's on the floor, and he exudes winning. Looks like a great teammate, and it just happy for him being able to get a scholarship to the University of Nevada. And I think that's a great school and a great fit.
Yeah, hats off to Darion Williams. Now, our number 2 player, Richard Pop Isaac. Love this kid's ability to score the basketball from the point guard position. I watched a lot of film, and one of the things that impresses me about him is his tough shot-making ability. A lot of guys can make shots when they are left wide open, but what I love about Pop is he makes a lot of tough contested shots. He can stop on a dime, get into the lane. He can hit not only from mid-range, but he makes these contested shots out past the NBA three-point line. Just a scoring point guard, tough competitor. That's my number 2 player in the class of 2022, Richard Pop Isaacs, and he's headed to Texas Tech. Lou?
Whew. Personal for me because kid lived with me for a while, was going through a tough situation, opened up my doors to him. Wonderful kid, works hard, woke me up in the morning, woke me up at night, wanted to go to the gym, shooting contests against me all day long, dribbling, always picking my brain, watching film. During the year that he was with me, he did homeschool. Never had to get on him. This kid took care of his schoolwork on his own, went to the gym, took his naps, rested. This kid is really prepared for college basketball. Watching him mentally on the floor, going through the trials and tribulations of switching schools, this kid got through all the adversity and figured it out. So, like I said, going to Texas Tech, great Big 12 conference, obviously Power 5, and looking forward to see his career.
Buck?
Pop, probably again, like I don't know too many kids that, when you say work ethic and range on the jumper and the love for the game and, competes all the way to the end. This is one of those kids that, that's been in every gym probably in Las Vegas since he was a kid that wherever there was some basketball or training or whatever it may be, he was there. So I think obviously going to Texas Tech, one of the toughest, one of the good schools and one of the toughest conferences in college basketball, I look forward to seeing, how he comes in and affects the game. And I just think this is, everyone's, they want to get to the D1 and they want to get to certain places, but this kid is one of the hardest working kids that I've seen.
And that's one of the things that all these kids have in common too. I mean, Buck, you can speak to this. This ain't easy, right? It's not easy to be good at basketball. I mean, you play with some great players. Lou, you play with some great players. Both of you guys were great players yourself. So it takes a lot of work ethic. It takes the willingness to go out there and actually make those 2 a.m. phone calls to the coaches to open up the gym if you want to be great. So hats off to our number two player, Richard Pop Isaacs. Now, our number one player in the Prephoops class of 2022 is Joshua Jefferson. And for me, I'm going to be 100% honest with everyone. It took me, I was up a lot of nights watching film, going back and forth between Jefferson and Pop. I actually talked to a lot of other of my colleagues, and most of the people said, hey, don't overthink it. Just don't overthink it. But the more and more I started watching them play, sometimes you earn what you get, and I think Joshua Jefferson earned the number one ranking. I mean, not only what he did this summer playing with Dream Vision against good competition, but he put together a terrific season for Liberty. I mean, he had the magnificent performance against Gorman in the Tartan Classic. And really what separated it to me was his willingness to transform his body from more of a back-to-basket traditional post player to now more of a wing guy. I mean, you're looking at a 6'8" guy with wing skills that's able to put the ball on the floor, get to the rim, and finish. He carried his team. He helped carry his team to a state title. Just no way I could ignore all the accomplishments and everything that this kid did. I believe that St. Mary's is getting a sleeper, and I'm proud to announce our number one player in the Prephoops class of 2022 is Liberty state champion Joshua Jefferson. Lou?
I don't know what else to say. Pretty much you said it all. I'm so proud of this kid. Watching him over the last 4 years, the growth, the work, the drive. Coach Didon for his AAU team was on him relentlessly. He picked it up, went to Dream Vision this summer, played against better competition, transformed his body. His father was on him. He listened to his dad, which he comes from a great background. His teammates love him, which is always a good sign from a star player. The rebound, pass, playmaking ability, steals, late game shooting. I mean, just a complete player, checked all the boxes. And like you said, they're definitely getting a sleeper.
Buck?
Just by him being where he is and being the number one kid in this class, if you was to say that 4 years ago, you wouldn't have probably happened. Watching this kid transform his body, like everyone said, and the dedication that it took, his footwork. He can handle, he can pass, he can shoot the three, he can post, he sets screens, never complains, he rebounds. Again, and when you say great fits, I mean, he's going to St. Mary's, one of the top teams in the country, and he's coachable, and he's played with Didon, and I think it's still a lot more to go just watching this kid from where he came from to where he is now. Just excited to see where he goes into the future. But St. Mary gets a great player and a great kid that comes from a great family.
Well said, well said. So there you have it. That is our Prephoops class of 2022 top 10. Now, the official and complete rankings will be out next Monday, so don't forget to go to prephoopsnevada.com to take a look at all the players. We've got over 125 players ranked. We also will be releasing the class of 2023, 2024, and 2025 in subsequent weeks. When we come back, we are going to wrap up with our guests, let you know where I'll be this coming week, and thank all of our supporters and wrap up this entire Nevada high school basketball season. So that's it. We are going to wrap up with my guests. Lou, what you got coming up for you?
Start of AAU season. Hats off to all the high school coaches that got through the season. The players, obviously dealing with COVID last year was tough. A lot of kids lost their, year. Persevered, fought hard. So I would just love for all the seniors to obtain a scholarship and, reach out for their college dreams and start flooding the information to the schools. Don't hold back. Send your tapes, not your mixes, your actual game tapes. Send your academic stats and grades and everything, and make sure that you inquire about what school, what they have to offer. Don't wait for your coach. Don't wait for your AAU coach. I'm an AAU coach. Don't wait. Do it yourself. Make sure that you take care of that. Reach out to a school that's up to your level, your par. Even if it's not, shoot for the stars. Go to college. Don't wait around for all these miracles and listen to all these guys that's going to tell you they can get you into school. Only the colleges can get you into school. Please, kids, reach out and take care of your own business.
Buck, what do you got moving forward?
Not too much. Just in the gym. Check out some of the college action that's going to be here in Las Vegas. Some of the tournaments. Watch some of the local guys and some other guys. But just to piggyback off Lou, I think the kids that are freshmen, sophomore, juniors. I think this time right here is the time where you kind of start your separation and try to get better. And for the next year, don't wait. Like, take a little bit off, 2-3 days, week, whatever, and get on a schedule, on a plan that's conclusive to trying to add to your creativity in your game. But I'm around. Thank you, Bruce, for doing this. Been here in Vegas a long time, and just by being able to, like I said, give the kids an opportunity, some exposure, some love that's overlooked. That's overlooked, and I appreciate Prephoops and what you do.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate the kind words. Appreciate you guys too. And all the coaches. Lou, you said as well. Congratulations to all the coaches for just getting through what was a really, really tough, last couple of years. So I'm just happy for everyone to do that. As for me, I mentioned before, Sunday, March 20th, I've got the Unsigned Senior Camp that I'm just really, really excited about, just something to give some of the seniors in this city an opportunity to get some exposure. We'll obviously have my boy Ball Dogs. Shout out to Ball Dogs. We'll have them in the building doing the highlights. I'm going to be having write-ups and Prephoops. We got the live stream going, and we're going to have that live stream out to the college coaches so they can take a look at the kids. So I'm really excited for that. That's going to be Sunday, March 20th at the Tarkanian Academy. If you have not already registered, please make sure that you go to 7outsbballclub@gmail.com, shoot for the registration form, email, and link. And then from that, I'm just gearing up for the AAU season. I will be heading content for the Hustle Region Circuit for Prephoops. So I will be out in the gyms everywhere from Colorado to California, trying to find prospects, trying to discover that next crop of talent. As always, you guys can go follow me on Twitter at 7outsbballclub1. You can go on IG at Bruce Prephoops, and I will keep you updated on everything boys high school basketball. That's it for me. Appreciate all you guys and look forward to seeing you next time.